Cause you make my earthquake. Oh, you make my earthquake. Riding around and they'll be shaking me up. And it's making my heart break.
Look what I just did to my freaking liner. So, yuck. It's fine, I've just spent over $500 on my hair and it's still not the colour I want it to be. Please ignore the fact I'm not wearing any makeup. Just got out of hospital. So I was at my job hire course thing and I noticed that I sort of had some tightening going on, some like sort of dull aches, but I'm used to that because I have, you know, Braxton Hicks and round ligament pain all the time. It's not really, it's uncomfortable and it, you know, I don't like it, but I thought, that's just what I'm having. Before I know it, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My course is finished and I'm doing like running some errands in town and stuff and walking about, and I'm noticing that walking is becoming harder and harder. I'm in a lot of pain. It's not letting up, like it's constant. It's like this constant ache. And then every now and then it sort of peaks and gets really bad. I called up the hospital and just sort of let them know what's going on and they're like, yeah, you need to come in. I got an Uber to the hospital. Then they check my weight and I'm like so embarrassed because I'm like so that bitch that's like, hang on, let me take off my shoes before I get on the scales. I mean, I was wearing like 2 sweaters and a scarf. And then they're like, okay, because you're past like 20 weeks, 23 weeks, whatever it is, you need to actually go to the maternity ward. So I had to waddle my way to the maternity ward. What is my brother doing? This is why I fucking hate making YouTube videos. So yeah, then they checked me out and they got me to piss in a cup because they thought that maybe I had a bladder infection. And then they're like, no bladder infection. They got what's it called? Speculum. And here's the thing, I knew that this day would come. I think you have to get a pap smear every year or something like that. I haven't had my pap smear yet because I'm lazy. And also because gynecologists are like my #1 fear. When I was about 16, 17 or whatever, my fear was so bad, like just thinking about it, I would start crying.
Cause you make my earthquake. Oh, you make my earthquake.
So I've sort of been preparing myself for it, and when she said, yeah, we want to get out a speculum and crank open that old pussy of yours, I was like, let's do this. Because they wanted to do a swab. They wanted to test for proteins that are released when you are in early labour. And because it was a swab, like a test they wanted to do, they said, sorry, but we can't put any lubricant on this. And I was like, and I always thought it's like in the movies where you put your legs up like you're gonna give birth, but apparently you put your legs, you're on your back, you put your legs together like that and then bring your heels up to your bum. And I thought, okay, how's this gonna work? And then she said it. Now drop your legs like a butterfly. I'm literally sitting there with my legs like a big butterfly. My vagina is the most exposed it ever has been, honestly, with this bright light and these 2 ladies, and I'm like, check it out. Yeah, and then she put that in and I was very uncomfortable, and obviously the more uncomfortable you are, the more painful it is, but yeah, I was like this with my hands and I was like, I was very uncomfortable. They thought that it was basically really bad round ligament pain that I was experiencing and that I should just like buy a belly band to help support and things like that, blah blah blah. I was thinking, surely this just isn't the case. This feels like so much worse, you know? And then she said, okay, your cervix looks like it's a little bit open, so I'm gonna have to shove my fingers in there and find out how open. And I was like, go for it. I cried afterwards because it was very painful. When she did her internal examination, she said, yeah, you are 1 to 2 centimeters dilated. And I honestly wasn't even surprised. I was like, well, yeah. They put a tracer on me, so I had like little bands on my belly. One was picking up the baby's heartbeat and one was picking up my contractions. But yeah, so they just kept, you know, they'd leave me alone for like an hour and then they'd come and check on me and then leave me alone for an hour and then come check on me. And I said to them, like, the pain is getting worse. And they were like, oh. They gave me morphine, and I've never had morphine before. They jabbed it in my butt and it hurt, and I'm pretty sure it bled like a lot because I suddenly could feel like a lot of wetness going on. And then she did say something about bleeding, so I think my butt was like hemorrhaging. And then after that I was like, I literally had that I'm like a bird, only fly away. I had that song stuck in my head. I felt like on cloud nine. And then it got to a point where I felt really drunk and then too drunk and felt like woozy, and I didn't like it anymore. And then they brought in my dinner and I was like, yes, I'm so fucking hungry, I haven't eaten anything. They put that thing in my hand and it was like such a big needle that they had to put anesthesia in first. Then I ate some of my dinner and I was like, yes, so good. And what happened? About 30 seconds later I was like, and I just grabbed my like dish lid, the like lid that was on my food, and went and then my mum quickly grabbed me some sick bags. Oh yeah, then they got a wheelchair for me and they took me down to get an ultrasound to see how the baby's doing and what my cervix is doing exactly, because I was so uncomfortable when she did her thing with her fingers. She was like, we need to get a better look, so we'll get an ultrasound. They did an abdominal ultrasound, and then they did an internal ultrasound. And I was like, you know what, at this point I've had that many things inside of my vagina tonight, I'm immune to it now, you know? This big dildo with so much lubricant on it, I couldn't even believe it. A little bit uncomfortable, especially, why do they do this? Why do they think that your body can just like move around like that? They just do this with the thing and it's like, can you not do that? Thanks. And when they did that, they said, yeah, your cervix is shortened. When I had my last ultrasound at 20 weeks, I had a really nice long cervix. It was like nearly 5 centimeters. So they were like, yep, you have like no chance of going into early labor because it's really nice and perfect, and now it's like 2 centimeters. So they were like, not good. But they said that the cervix had closed up, which is good. And I didn't have any bleeding or any fluid loss, or, you know, my waters didn't break, so that's also really good. And then yeah, I went back to my room, they reheated my dinner and I was eating it, and I'm not even kidding, about 4 seconds later I vomited again. I was so frustrated at that point because I was like, I'm fucking starving. I am starving, I want to eat dinner. And then they gave me an anti-nausea thing. Finally, I asked for it, and then, because every time they like check on you, it's like you need to really get shit done when they're there, because when they leave you alone for like an hour before coming back. So and I'm too polite to, you know, like if I need something I won't buzz the nurse because I'm just too, I don't know, I'm just too like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to inconvenience you guys, you're already doing so much for me. But they finally came back an hour later with nausea medication, and then I popped that in. It's like a tablet that dissolves under your tongue. Didn't taste very nice, as you can imagine. And then I ended up vomiting that back up. And then finally, randomly my nausea wore off. And I was like, hell yeah, because at that point, like, I wasn't thinking about anything other than the nausea, because it was just so horrible. I had to like sit there and just keep my eyes closed and just breathe, because, and mum kept saying like, oh, are you tired? You want to go to bed? I'm like, no, I'm not tired. I'm just have to close my eyes because everything is spinning right now. Like everything's moving. I literally have to close my eyes. But finally it wore off, and then a nurse came in and checked on me and said, you know, how's the nausea and everything? And I was like, yeah, it's gone now. And she's like, and what about the pain? And I was like, actually, now that you mention it, the pain is gone, like completely. I don't feel anything now. And she was like, oh, and I was like, hallelujah. So, and since then it's been great and I haven't had any other troubles. And I went to bed, mum and my brother went home, and I was lying like this for like an hour because the morphine was making my nose itch. Next Monday, I think I have to go back and get another prescription for these bad boys. This is what is gonna stop my son from coming out. So every night I have to put one of these, it's progesterone, up my pussy, and go to bed with it in there while it dissolves, and that will help. And I need to take that until I am around 36 weeks pregnant, every night for the next at least 10 weeks. Pussy pill every night. So, and apparently these are really expensive. Of course they are. I better go now that I've explained what exactly happened last night. Send your well wishes to my stupid son, because, you know, I tried telling him, you know, when you want to get here so bad, but trust me, once you're here, you're gonna wish you could go back. I don't even have a room for you yet. So hopefully he'll be okay. He seems fine. He's like, a heart rate was fine and he was kicking around, and I think he just didn't even give a care.